God's blessings to everyone. This is a DGHradio.com news and information weather update for the United States Virgin Islands. And I'm reporter TF reporting the weather for Saturday, October 4th, 2025, covering the latest weather updates from across the United States Virgin Islands. Synopsis: a long-period northerly swell generated by the recent hurricanes Imelda and Humberto over the northern Atlantic is the dominant driver of our marine and coastal hazards today. That swell is sending large, powerful waves into the Atlantic waters and island passages, producing dangerous surf and life-threatening rip currents. Overland, an upper-level low keeps the atmosphere a bit unstable with passing showers, and a weak tropical wave early this week will briefly boost moisture. Farther out, a new tropical wave that just moved off Africa bears watching next week, while a weak low near the Bahamas favors rain for Florida and the Bahamas rather than development. Hazards today through early week. There is a high risk of life-threatening rip currents for the Atlantic exposed beaches of St. Thomas and St. John, and for the northwestern and eastern beaches of St. Croix. A high surf advisory remains in effect for St. Thomas and St. John, with occasional large breaking waves that can knock you off your feet, sweep you onto rocks, and cause beach erosion. A coastal flood advisory remains in effect for northern Puerto Rico, and surf impacts there can indirectly affect inter-island marine travel. Thunderstorms are possible this afternoon, mainly over Puerto Rico, but a few could skirt our waters and bring brief lightning and downpours. Marine and surf. Mariners should expect very rough Atlantic waters and choppy passages. In the Atlantic coastal waters north of Puerto Rico and into the local passages, seas are running near 9 to 11 feet today with a dominant northerly swell of roughly 13 seconds. A small craft advisory is in effect through Monday afternoon for most Atlantic waters and passages around Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Caribbean waters south of St. Croix will be somewhat lower, but remain locally hazardous in swell-exposed inlets and cuts. Surf along north and east-facing shores of St. Thomas and St. John will be dangerous, with occasional sets capable of sweeping people off jetties or rocks. Even experienced swimmers should remain out of the water at high-risk beaches. Local island breakdown today and tonight. St. Thomas and St. John. Partly to mostly cloudy with scattered showers, a stray afternoon thunderstorm cannot be ruled out. Daytime highs near the lower 90s degrees Fahrenheit with an afternoon heat index that may feel a few degrees warmer. East to east, southeast winds generally near 10 to 15 miles per hour, lighter and variable in any showers. Tonight, mostly cloudy with scattered showers, lows in the lower 80s. St. Croix. Partly sunny with scattered showers, a few thunderstorms possible after midday, highs near 90 degrees Fahrenheit with heat index values that can reach the lower 100s degrees Fahrenheit for short periods. East winds around 10 miles per hour, stronger in sea breezes. Tonight turns mostly cloudy with scattered to numerous showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Outlook, 24 to 72 hours. On Sunday and Monday, a weak tropical wave moves by to our south and west, briefly increasing moisture and the coverage of showers, greatest over Puerto Rico and Mona Passage. But some of that activity may pass near St. Croix and the eastern Caribbean channels. By midweek, drier and more stable air tries to build in, allowing for fewer showers and a return to mainly brief trade-wind showers. The swell will gradually subside after Monday, but rip currents may remain hazardous into Tuesday on the most exposed beaches. Late in the work week, confidence lowers because a tropical wave now near the African coast has a medium chance of development as it traverses the tropical Atlantic. It is too soon for specifics, but it warrants close monitoring. Aviation note for local operators and travelers. Predominantly, visual flight rules are expected, but brief reductions in visibility and cloud bases are possible near afternoon showers. Light easterly flow, generally under 15 knots, with sea breeze variations. Pilots should watch for mountain-induced showers over Puerto Rico, drifting toward the passages late day. Safety nudge, please share. Beachgoers, choose guarded beaches, obey the flags, and when in doubt, do not go out. If caught in a rip current, yell for help, float to conserve energy, and swim parallel to the shoreline to escape the current before angling back in. For mariners, small craft should remain in port during the worst hours of the swell and always wear a life jacket when underway. Let us know your thoughts about the weather by texting your comments to 1-315-898-1449. You can also join our WhatsApp group and get the news, weather, and other insightful information delivered right to your smartphone. To join, text JOIN to 1-315-898-1449. Please include your name in the text message. You will receive a call to verify your request. I'm your reporter, Taff, signing off for DGHradio.com. Remember, Taff and DGH. Together we track, analyze, fact-check, and deliver grassroots headlines because on DGHradio.com, the news never sleeps. Ciao!